Close your eyes for a moment and forget where you are. Forget your current bank balance, your job, your debts. None of these matter because they are simply reflections of past thoughts. Right now, we step into a new reality, one where you are already a millionaire. What does it feel like to have an endless flow of wealth, not to chase money but to know it is always there? Imagine waking up in a home of your choosing with no concerns about bills, no hesitation before making a purchase, no fear of financial instability. You are free, the weight is gone, the air feels different. This is your new life. The greatest misconception about wealth is that it is something you attain, but true wealth is a state of mind and energy, a consciousness. Those who are rich in the world first became rich in their imagination. They felt wealthy before the physical evidence appeared. Let yourself step into that state. Let the sensation of financial ease settle in your body. Move with the quiet confidence of someone who knows abundance is their birthright. Do not ask how this will happen. Do not strain. Do not beg. Do not hope. Simply accept. The moment you assume the feeling of already being a millionaire, life must conform to that assumption. Live in that knowing. Act from that knowing. And soon you will look around and realize you were a millionaire long before the world acknowledged it. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you become. The greatest secret to financial abundance is not in effort or strategy alone, but in the state of being you assume right now. Before money can flow into your life, you must first step into the consciousness of one who already possesses it. You must feel wealthy not in some distant future, but here, in this very moment. And strip away all external conditions. Forget your current bank balance, your income, your job, your debts. These are nothing more than reflections of past thoughts and beliefs. They do not define your present, nor do they dictate your future. Instead, turn inward and ask yourself, if I were already a millionaire, how would I feel? Feel the certainty that comes with financial abundance. Imagine waking up in the morning knowing that money is never a concern. There is no hesitation before making a purchase, no lingering anxiety over bills, no weight of lack pressing on your chest. There is only ease, freedom, and an unshakable confidence in the flow of wealth. This feeling is what you must claim, not as a fleeting daydream, but as a permanent state of being. The key is to embody this feeling so fully that it becomes second nature. You do not need to wait for external proof before adopting the mindset of a millionaire. Those who are truly wealthy did not wait for their bank accounts to confirm their worth. They carried themselves with the energy of abundance long before the world reflected it back to them. The physical world is nothing more than a mirror of your internal state. If you persist in feeling wealthy, the outer world has no choice but to reshape itself to match your assumption. Think about the difference between someone struggling financially and someone who moves through life with the quiet assurance of wealth. The struggling individual often carries tension in their body. Their movements are hesitant, their words reveal doubt, and their thoughts are filled with worry. On the other hand, a person who assumes the state of wealth moves differently. They stand tall, speak with certainty, and approach life with a relaxed confidence. Their energy is different. They do not grasp or beg. They expect wealth to flow because they already feel rich. Ask yourself, how would you behave if money were no longer an issue? Would you walk into a room with greater confidence? Would you make decisions with ease instead of hesitation? Would you feel a deeper sense of peace knowing that you are fully supported? Allow yourself to step into this version of you, not tomorrow, not next month, but now. The mind does not differentiate between reality and imagination. It only responds to the images and feelings you impress upon it. If you consistently dwell in the emotions of financial security, your subconscious will accept this as truth. And once your subconscious accepts something as truth, it must become your experience. This is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something you do not feel. It is about shifting your focus from what is lacking to what is already present in the unseen realm. Wealth is not something outside of you. It is something you align with. You do not need to struggle for it. You need only to assume the feeling of having it, and life will rearrange itself to match that assumption. One of the simplest ways to cultivate this feeling is to practice gratitude for the wealth that is already yours in unseen form. Each morning, wake up and give thanks as if you already possess everything you desire. Say to yourself, I am so grateful for the financial abundance that flows effortlessly into my life. Feel the sincerity of these words. Let them sink into your being. As you do this, you will notice a shift. Your energy will become lighter, your mind will feel clearer, and a deep sense of peace will replace any anxiety about money. Another powerful practice is to observe your thoughts throughout the day. When you catch yourself worrying about money or feeling lack, pause and shift your focus. Replace thoughts of scarcity with thoughts of abundance. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, wealth is flowing to me in unexpected ways. Instead of worrying about how money will come, trust that it is already on its way. This mental discipline is what separates those who struggle from those who thrive. You must also align your actions with the consciousness of wealth. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to be something you are not. It means moving through life with the assurance that wealth is your natural state. It means carrying yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are supported by the unseen forces of abundance. As you persist in assuming the feeling of wealth, you will begin to notice changes in your external world. Opportunities will arise, unexpected sources of income will appear, and financial doors will open in ways you never could have predicted. But the key is to feel it first. The world does not give you wealth and then allow you to feel rich. It is the other way around. You become it internally, and then life reflects it back to you. This is the great secret. Assume the feeling of wealth now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances change, now. And as you do, you will come to realize that abundance was always within you, waiting for you to claim it. The greatest shift you can make in your journey to wealth is to move from seeking to being. The moment you stop chasing and start embodying the reality of financial freedom, everything begins to change. Wealth is not something you work tirelessly toward. It is something you claim by living in the end result now. Instead of wishing, hoping, or waiting for abundance, you must step into the consciousness of one who already has it. When you dwell in the end, you no longer operate from a place of lack. You do not see yourself as someone striving for wealth, trying to make more money, or struggling to achieve financial security. Instead, you see yourself as already financially free. You carry yourself with the quiet assurance of someone who knows they are supported by unlimited abundance. You act from the reality of wealth, not toward it. Imagine that you already have everything you desire. What does that look like? More importantly, what does it feel like? Picture your ideal life, not as something distant, but as something unfolding in this very moment. See yourself waking up in a home you love with the peace that comes from knowing your financial needs are met. There is no stress, no anxiety about bills, no fear of lack. You move through your day with ease, making choices not from necessity, but from desire. This feeling of financial freedom is what you must claim now, not when you have more money, not when your circumstances improve. Now, you must walk, talk, and think as if you are already wealthy, because in doing so, you are aligning yourself with the reality where wealth is yours. Your external world can only reflect what you assume to be true internally. The mistake most people make is living in the process instead of the end. They constantly think about how they will become wealthy, what steps they need to take, what actions they should be doing. While action is necessary, it is secondary. What matters most is the state of mind you occupy. If you see yourself as someone trying to become wealthy, you are reinforcing the idea that you are not yet wealthy. And as long as you hold that belief, the physical world will continue to mirror that lack back to you. Bypass the process and dwell directly in the end. Imagine that it is already done. See your financial freedom as an undeniable reality. When you do this, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to shift, and your actions follow suit. You no longer make choices from a place of limitation. You no longer doubt whether opportunities will come. You expect them. You no longer hope for money. You assume its presence. To dwell in the end means to remove all resistance. It means letting go of the mindset that wealth is something you need to earn or struggle for. It means stepping into the version of yourself who already has it. When you truly accept this as your reality, you will notice how your thoughts, emotions, and decisions begin to change. You will no longer engage in conversations about financial struggle. You will no longer react with fear when unexpected expenses arise. You will no longer hesitate to invest in yourself or your dreams. You will act in alignment with the wealth you already possess in consciousness. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you consistently impress upon it. If you persist in the assumption that you already have financial abundance, your subconscious will reorganize your reality to match that belief. The people you meet, the opportunities that come your way, and even your own intuition will begin to align with this state of being. This is why it is so important to hold the vision of wealth unwaveringly. No matter what your current circumstances look like, you must remain faithful to the reality you have chosen. Do not let temporary setbacks shake your belief. Do not allow external conditions to dictate your inner state. When doubts creep in, return to the feeling of already being wealthy. Reinforce it with visualization, affirmations, and unwavering confidence in the unseen forces working on your behalf. Many people spend their lives wishing for financial freedom but never truly believing in it. They set goals, make plans, and take action, but deep down they still see themselves as struggling, and so the struggle continues. But those who live in the end, those who claim wealth as already theirs, see a different reality. They attract success effortlessly. They find themselves in the right place at the right time. They take inspired actions that lead to unexpected windfalls. This is not luck, it is law. The law that governs reality is simple. You receive what you are, not what you want. If you are still in the state of wanting, you will continue to experience the wanting. If you step into the state of having, you will experience the having. Right now, make the choice to dwell in the end. See yourself not as someone on the path to wealth, but as someone who is already there. Feel the certainty, the confidence, the freedom that comes with knowing abundance is yours. The moment you do, life must respond in kind. Everything you see in your outer world is a reflection of the beliefs, emotions, and assumptions you hold within. The secret to wealth is not in tireless effort or endless struggle, but in the deep conviction that you are already abundant. Your subconscious mind does not operate on logic, nor does it question whether something is possible or impossible. It simply accepts and manifests whatever is impressed upon it with feeling and repetition. This is why you must first cultivate the feeling of wealth internally before you ever see it materialize in your external world. Most people believe that action alone creates wealth. They chase money, opportunities, and success with a desperate energy, thinking that if they just work hard enough, they will finally attain financial freedom. But this approach often leads to frustration, exhaustion, and disappointment. Why? Because they are trying to change the effect without first addressing the cause. The cause of all wealth, all success, and all prosperity is not found in the external world. It is rooted in the inner world of thought and belief. Consider the way a seed grows into a tree. You cannot force the tree to grow by pulling on its branches or demanding that it bear fruit before its time. Instead, you must plant the seed, nurture it, and trust that beneath the surface something is happening. The same principle applies to wealth. If you plant the seed of financial abundance in your subconscious mind, by assuming and feeling that you are already rich, then in due time your outer world must reflect that reality. But most people plant seeds of lack. They worry about money, fear not having enough, and constantly reinforce the idea that wealth is something out of reach. They say things like, "I can't afford this," "Money is hard to make," "I'll never be rich," and "I don't know how to get ahead." These statements may seem harmless, but they are powerful declarations to the subconscious mind. Every time such thoughts are entertained, they reinforce a state of financial struggle. The subconscious, being entirely obedient, ensures that their reality continues to reflect those beliefs. Consider what happens when you reverse this process. Instead of focusing on lack, you shift your attention to abundance. You begin to tell yourself a new story, one where money flows easily, where you always have more than enough, and where opportunities for financial growth present themselves effortlessly. You dwell in the feeling of already being wealthy. You walk, speak, and think like someone who knows they are financially free. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning your internal state with the wealth you seek. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only responds to the dominant impressions you give it. If you repeatedly impress upon it the idea that you are already rich, it will rearrange your reality to make that belief true. The right circumstances, people, and opportunities will be drawn to you in ways you never could have planned. Inspired ideas will arise, guiding you to actions that lead to financial success. This is the effortless path to wealth, not one of force, but of alignment. It is important to understand that money itself is neutral. It does not have an inherent nature of being scarce or abundant. It simply responds to the energy and beliefs you hold about it. If you see money as difficult to obtain, it will be difficult. If you see it as something that flows naturally and abundantly, it will. Your internal world defines your financial experience. The key to transforming your reality is to stop focusing on how wealth will come and instead trust that it must come. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not constantly dig it up to see if it is growing. You trust the process. In the same way, when you impress wealth upon your subconscious, you must let go of doubt and allow it to unfold in its perfect time. The moment you fully accept and believe in your wealth, you shift into the state of having, and your outer world begins to conform to this new inner reality. It is also essential to guard your thoughts and words. Never speak of lack, never affirm struggle, and never entertain the idea that wealth is out of reach. Instead, saturate your mind with thoughts of prosperity. Visualize yourself in complete financial freedom. Feel the security, the confidence, and the ease of knowing that your needs are always met. Make this feeling your dwelling place. Your financial transformation does not begin with more work, better opportunities, or lucky breaks. It begins within you. If you hold fast to the belief that you are already rich, without contradiction or doubt, then wealth will become your reality. The outer world has no choice but to reflect what you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. Make the decision to feel rich. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve, but now. Step into that feeling fully and completely. As you do, life will shift in ways that seem almost magical, but it is not magic, it is law. And once you understand this law, you will never struggle for wealth again. The greatest barrier between you and the wealth you desire is not the lack of opportunity, intelligence, or resources. It is the attachment to how and when it will come. Most people, in their pursuit of financial success, become obsessed with the details. They try to control every aspect of the process, calculating every possible path, fearing missed opportunities, and constantly questioning whether they are on the right track. This mindset, rather than bringing wealth closer, actually pushes it away. The more you concern yourself with how money will come, the more you reinforce the belief that you do not yet have it. The more you stress about when it will arrive, the more you affirm its absence. You must detach from how and when and shift into a state of absolute certainty that it is already yours. This is not wishful thinking. It is not pretending. It is a deep, unwavering inner knowing that the wealth you seek is already present in your life, even if you cannot yet see it with your physical eyes. When you adopt this mindset, you remove the obstacles that have been blocking it from manifesting. The mind that dwells in lack is restless. It constantly seeks solutions, worries about what is missing, and analyzes every step. But a mind that knows wealth is already secured is at peace. It does not chase, it does not struggle, and it does not doubt. Instead, it allows. And this allowing is the secret to effortless creation. Think of the air you breathe. You do not question whether there will be enough oxygen tomorrow. You do not wake up in the middle of the night in panic, wondering how air will continue to flow into your lungs. You simply trust that it is there. In the same way, money should be seen as something that is always available, always flowing, and never lacking. The moment you shift into this perspective, your reality will begin to reflect it. Letting go of how does not mean you stop taking action. It means that your actions are no longer driven by fear and desperation, but by inspiration and ease. When you believe that you already have what you seek, you are no longer forcing outcomes, you are aligning with them. The right ideas, people, and circumstances naturally find you because you are operating from a state of abundance rather than scarcity. Many people, when trying to attract wealth, unknowingly work against themselves by checking for results too soon. They plant the seed of wealth in their minds but constantly dig it up to see if it is growing. This impatience disrupts the process. Imagine a farmer who plants a crop but refuses to trust the natural cycle of growth. If he doubts the soil, uproots the seed every few days, and worries whether the harvest will come, he is only delaying his own abundance. The same is true for wealth. Once you have impressed the feeling of financial security upon your subconscious, you must let go and trust that it is unfolding perfectly. Time itself is an illusion. The belief that wealth must take years to accumulate or that success must come through a slow, difficult process is only a limitation imposed by the mind. In reality, wealth does not operate on a fixed timeline. It responds to your state of being. If you believe that abundance takes a long time, it will. The key is to detach from the concept of when and instead rest in the conviction that it is already done. To truly embody this, you must release all struggle, all anxiety, and all doubt. Every moment spent worrying about money is a moment spent affirming its absence. Every moment spent questioning how it will come is a moment spent reinforcing the idea that it is not yet here. Instead, shift into the certainty that you are already financially free. Feel it now. Walk as though it is true. Speak as though it is true. Think and act as the wealthy person you already are. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you trust so deeply that you no longer need to force or control anything. You surrender to the natural flow of abundance, knowing that what is yours can never be withheld from you. When you reach this state, wealth manifests effortlessly, in ways you never could have planned. Unexpected opportunities arise. Money flows from sources you never anticipated. Everything aligns because you are no longer resisting. In this moment, let go of every question, every worry, and every doubt. Let go of the need to figure it all out. Instead, rest in the certainty that it is already done. Wealth is not something you are chasing. It is something you are allowing. And as soon as you fully embrace that truth, it will appear in your life as naturally as the breath in your lungs. If you desire to be a millionaire, you must first learn to think and speak as one. Your words and thoughts are not just fleeting expressions, they are the seeds from which your reality grows. Every thought you allow, every word you speak either affirms abundance or reinforces lack. There is no neutrality. The way you describe your life, the way you think about money, and the way you react to financial situations all determine the reality you experience. Most people unknowingly keep themselves trapped in financial struggle by constantly affirming their limitations. They say, "I can't afford this. Money is hard to come by. I don't know how I'll ever get rich." And in doing so, they instruct their subconscious mind to keep them in that very condition. They reinforce the idea that wealth is distant, difficult, or reserved for others. But those who truly embody wealth think and speak differently. They do not affirm lack, they affirm abundance. They do not focus on what is missing, they focus on what is already present. To shift into this mindset, you must begin eliminating all language of scarcity. Remove words like broke, struggling, impossible, or out of reach from your vocabulary. Stop saying things like, I never have enough money, or I'll never be able to afford that. These statements are not harmless. They are declarations to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious is always listening. Whatever you consistently affirm, it will accept as truth and manifest accordingly. Train yourself to speak from the perspective of wealth. Say, money flows to me effortlessly. I always have more than enough. Opportunities are abundant, and I am financially free. Even if your physical reality does not yet reflect this, your words are planting the seeds for the future. Wealth is first created in the mind before it materializes in the world. When you consistently affirm abundance, your subconscious mind begins to believe it. And when it believes it, it must bring it into your experience. Thinking as a millionaire goes beyond just words. It extends to your entire mental outlook. A wealthy person does not dwell on financial fear or worry. They do not obsess over lack. Instead, they trust in the natural flow of money. They see money as a tool, not as something to be feared or worshipped. They focus on prosperity, growth, and opportunity. They operate from a mindset of confidence rather than scarcity. Many people mistakenly believe that they must wait for financial success before they can feel abundant, but the truth is the opposite. You must first feel wealthy before wealth will come. Imagine how a millionaire thinks about money. Do they panic over small expenses? Do they stress over bills? Do they doubt their ability to generate income? No. They move through life with a sense of certainty, knowing that wealth is always available to them. They trust in their financial security. If you adopt this same mindset now, you will naturally align yourself with the experience of wealth. Your actions must also reflect this consciousness. Walk with confidence, as if you already possess great wealth. Sit, stand, and move as someone who is financially free. The way you carry yourself is a direct expression of your inner state. If you walk with hesitation, slouching under the weight of financial stress, you are embodying lack. But when you move with assurance, standing tall as if abundance is your natural state, you signal to your subconscious that wealth is already yours. Even your relationship with spending must change. Many people approach money from a place of fear, holding onto it tightly, afraid that there will never be enough. But a millionaire understands that money is a tool meant to flow. They do not hoard it out of fear. They circulate it wisely, knowing that there is always more where it came from. When you spend money, do so with gratitude, not anxiety. Bless every dollar that leaves your hands, knowing it will return multiplied. It is also crucial to surround yourself with the energy of abundance. This does not mean reckless spending or living beyond your means. It means immersing yourself in the feeling of wealth in every way possible. Visit beautiful places, try on luxury clothing, walk through high-end neighborhoods, not because you are pretending, but because you are aligning with the frequency of financial success. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So if you continuously expose yourself to an environment of abundance, your mind will accept it as your reality. Eliminate negative influences that reinforce a scarcity mindset. Avoid conversations that focus on struggle and lack. Distance yourself from those who constantly complain about money, who believe wealth is reserved for the lucky few. Surround yourself with those who think expansively, who see opportunity everywhere, who operate with confidence in their financial destiny. Energy is contagious, and when you are constantly immersed in an environment of abundance, it becomes your new normal. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you become. And you become it through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Speak and think only as a millionaire would, and soon your outer reality will be forced to conform. It is not magic, it is law. The consciousness of abundance must always precede the experience of it. Think it, Speak it, embody it, and the world will reflect it back to you. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the doors of abundance. It is not merely an emotion. It is a powerful vibrational force that aligns you with the reality you wish to experience. The secret to manifesting wealth is not to wait until it arrives before you feel grateful, but to express deep appreciation now, as if it were already yours. The moment you begin to live in this state of gratitude, you shift your energy from lack to abundance, and the universe must respond in kind. Most people live in a cycle of wanting, waiting, and worrying. They believe that once they achieve financial success, then they will be grateful. But this is an illusion. Gratitude is not a reaction to wealth, it is the cause of it. When you cultivate gratitude in the present moment, regardless of what your external reality looks like, you declare to the universe that you already have all you need. And when you affirm that you already have, more will be given to you. Imagine for a moment that you are already a millionaire. How would you feel waking up every morning, knowing that financial freedom is yours? How would you move through the day, knowing that money flows effortlessly into your life? You would feel a deep sense of ease, security, and appreciation. You would not worry about bills, expenses, or unexpected financial challenges because you would trust that everything is always working in your favor. Bring that feeling into the present. Do not wait for the physical evidence of wealth to appear before you allow yourself to feel grateful. Instead, cultivate that same deep appreciation. Now, look at what you already have, no matter how small, and acknowledge it with gratitude. Appreciate the money you do have, the opportunities before you, the roof over your head, the food you eat, the resources available to you. When you begin to see your current blessings as abundant, you send a clear message to the universe. I am already wealthy. And because like attracts like, wealth must flow to you. Gratitude is a magnet. Whatever you are grateful for, you attract more of. If you constantly complain about your financial situation, if you focus on what you lack, if you feel frustrated by what you do not yet have, you are reinforcing that very state. The universe responds to your dominant emotional state, not just your words. You may say that you want wealth, but if your emotions are rooted in frustration and lack, that is what will continue to manifest. Shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on what is missing, celebrate what is present. Each time you receive money, no matter how small, give thanks. When you spend money, instead of feeling anxious or resistant, feel grateful that you have the ability to pay for what you need. When you see someone else enjoying wealth, instead of feeling envious, celebrate their abundance as proof that prosperity is possible. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will notice your financial reality shifting. Unexpected opportunities will arise. Money will come from sources you never anticipated. Solutions to financial challenges will present themselves effortlessly. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. A powerful way to deepen your gratitude practice is through visualization. Each day, close your eyes and imagine yourself already living your ideal financial life. See yourself in a beautiful home, driving the car of your dreams, traveling freely, giving generously. As you visualize, do not just see the images, feel them. Feel the excitement, the security, the deep appreciation of a life where money is no longer a concern. The more vividly you can feel gratitude for this reality now, the faster it will materialize. Writing down your gratitude can also be transformative. Keep a journal and each day list the things you are thankful for, both what you already have and what you are calling into existence. Write statements like, I am so grateful for the unlimited abundance flowing into my life. I appreciate the wealth I already possess and the financial freedom that is unfolding effortlessly. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, and I am thankful for every blessing. By consistently affirming gratitude, you reprogram your subconscious mind to accept abundance as your natural state. Over time, this new belief will override any past conditioning of scarcity, and your external world will adjust accordingly. It is also important to express gratitude not just for money but for all forms of abundance. Good health, supportive relationships, creative ideas, and joyful experiences. The more you recognize abundance in all areas of your life, the more you train yourself to see wealth everywhere. And as your perception shifts, so does your reality. Gratitude is not just about attracting wealth. It is about becoming a person who naturally embodies abundance. It transforms your entire being, making wealth not something you chase, but something you radiate. When you live in a state of deep appreciation, you become magnetic to all that you desire. Money, opportunities, success, all of it flows effortlessly into the life of one who is truly grateful. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you embody. The key to becoming a millionaire is not found in struggle or desperation, but in the deep, unwavering belief that you already are one. When you assume the feeling of wealth now, when you dwell in the certainty that it is already yours, and when you trust that your inner world shapes your outer reality, you unlock the doors to unlimited abundance. Let go of doubt. Detach from the need to control the how and when. Speak, think, and act only as a wealthy person would. Express gratitude not as a reaction to wealth, but as a declaration that it is already present. When you align your mind with abundance, the universe has no choice but to mirror that reality back to you. The life of financial freedom you seek is not distant, it is here, right now, waiting for you to claim it. Shift your awareness, walk in confidence, and allow wealth to flow to you effortlessly. Thank you, and may you step boldly into the wealth that is already yours. There is a great secret, and few ever realize it. Your focus is the most powerful tool you possess. Wherever you direct it, energy flows, and reality shapes itself accordingly. Yet most people scatter their focus, chasing validation, explaining themselves, seeking approval from those who do not hold the power to shape their destiny. You must withdraw from this futile pursuit. Turn within. You do not need to explain your journey to anyone. Silence is misunderstood by those who fear their own thoughts, but it is the foundation upon which all creation rests. Your silence is not emptiness, it is alignment. In silence, the greatest revolutions begin. In silence, the most profound shifts occur. Let the world wonder, let them assume, let them question, it does not concern you. When you are focused on yourself, you step into a power that cannot be seen but is deeply felt. Others may not understand why you have grown distant, why you no longer engage in trivial distractions, but that is not your burden to carry. Your purpose is not to convince anyone of your transformation. Your purpose is to embody it. Detach from the noise, detach from the opinions. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you reclaim your power. When you no longer chase, beg, or seek validation, life begins to work in your favor. Doors open, paths clear. What you once struggled to attain now flows effortlessly into your reality. Do not waste your breath trying to make people see what only you were meant to understand. Remain silent and trust. For in your silence, the unseen is taking form. In your solitude, something greater is being built. Focus on yourself, and soon the world will focus on you, not because you sought its attention, but because you no longer needed it. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you continuously hold within your mind. Every circumstance, every encounter, and every event is a mirror, showing you what you have accepted as truth about yourself and life. Most people believe that life happens to them, that events unfold randomly, that circumstances are dictated by forces outside their control. But the reality is far different. Life is shaped from within. The world you walk through each day is not separate from you. It is a projection of your assumptions, beliefs, and deeply held thoughts. When you allow yourself to fully grasp this truth, you begin to realize the immense power you hold. Nothing exists independently of your awareness. If you assume yourself to be limited, struggling, or unworthy, life will mold itself to confirm those beliefs. It will present obstacles, rejection, and hardship, not because you are destined to suffer, but because that is what you unconsciously affirm. But if you assume yourself to be worthy, abundant, and successful, the world must shape itself to reflect that state of being. It has no choice. Your beliefs act as an invisible architect constructing the reality you walk through each day. These beliefs are not just idle thoughts that pass through your mind. They are the foundations upon which your entire life is built. If you constantly tell yourself that success is difficult, that love is rare, or that happiness is fleeting, you will see these ideas play out before you, not because they are absolute truths, but because you have accepted them as such. On the other hand, when you change the way you think, when you replace doubt with certainty, fear with confidence, and limitation with possibility, life begins to shift in ways that seem almost miraculous. It is not enough to simply wish for change while continuing to entertain the same limiting thoughts. True transformation requires a shift in consciousness, a deep and unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. This is where most people falter. They allow the evidence of the physical world to dictate their beliefs, instead of understanding that their beliefs create the physical world. They look at their current circumstances and reinforce them by reacting emotionally, further embedding those unwanted experiences into their reality. But the key to changing your life is to first change what you accept as true within yourself. Assume the feeling of already being the person you wish to become. Not someday, not in the distant future, but right now. Let your thoughts reflect that reality. If you desire success, do not dwell on failure. If you seek love, do not entertain thoughts of loneliness. If you wish for abundance, let go of ideas of lack. The more you persist in an assumption, the more it solidifies into reality. Life does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your convictions. The shift does not happen overnight. The mind, conditioned by years of habitual thinking, will resist at first. Doubt will creep in. The external world may continue to reflect the old beliefs for a while, but your job is not to react to the old reality. It is to persist in your new assumption, knowing that the external world is only a delayed reflection of your inner state. If you hold firm, if you refuse to let appearances dictate your inner world, you will witness a transformation so profound that it will feel as though the entire universe has conspired to shift in your favor. Most people remain trapped in the cycle of reacting to life rather than creating it. They wake up each day and allow their environment to dictate how they feel, what they believe, and what they expect. But the moment you take control of your inner world, everything changes. You are no longer a passive participant, you become the creator. You begin to walk through life with an unshakable confidence, knowing that you are the master of your destiny. Hold the assumption of your ideal life so firmly in your mind that it becomes more real to you than the world you currently see. Do not wait for evidence, create it. Do not seek external validation, know it within. When your inner world shifts, the outer world has no choice but to follow. Holds a power that few truly understand. In a world that thrives on noise, where people constantly seek validation through words and external recognition, the ability to remain silent is often mistaken for weakness. But true strength does not need to announce itself. It does not seek to prove, argue, or convince. It simply is. The greatest transformations, the most profound shifts in life, happen in silence, away from the noise of opinions and distraction. Silence is the space where real power is cultivated. It is in silence that the mind clears, that thoughts become intentional, and that desires take form. When you resist the urge to explain yourself, when you stop feeling the need to justify your actions, you reclaim the energy that is so often wasted on trying to make others understand you. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey, And that is perfectly fine. Your growth, your success, your transformation, none of it requires the approval of others. The most successful, powerful individuals move in silence. They do not broadcast their plans, their struggles, or their next moves. Instead, they focus inward, directing all their energy toward their vision, allowing their actions and results to do the speaking for them. Words can be manipulated, misunderstood, or dismissed, but results are undeniable. When you commit to your path and refuse to be distracted by external noise, you step into a power that few possess, the power of quiet certainty. When you speak less, you observe more. You begin to notice things that others overlook. You become attuned to the subtle shifts in energy, the hidden opportunities, and the unspoken intentions of those around you. Silence sharpens your intuition, giving you an edge that cannot be acquired through loudness or constant expression. When you are silent, you listen, not just to others, but to yourself, to the whispers of your own soul, to the guidance that comes when the mind is still. Many people fear silence because they associate it with invisibility, with being overlooked or forgotten. But the opposite is true. Those who master the art of silence command a presence that is felt even when they do not speak. There is a quiet confidence in those who do not need to fill every moment with words. Their energy speaks for them. Their actions make a statement that no speech could ever match. Discipline yourself to resist the urge to announce your every move. Not everyone needs to know what you are working on, what you are struggling with, or what you intend to achieve. The more you reveal, the more room you leave for doubt, interference, and negativity from those who do not have your best interests at heart. Protect your energy by keeping your plans close. Let people see the results when they manifest, not when they are still in the delicate process of formation. There will always be those who misunderstand your silence, who mistake it for a lack of direction or purpose. But that is because they have not yet learned that the greatest storms build in quiet, the most profound transformations happen when no one is watching. The most unstoppable people do not announce themselves. They emerge, fully formed, when the time is right. Resist the urge to react, to explain, to seek approval. Move in silence, not because you are afraid to speak, but because you know that true power does not need to be declared. It is felt. And when the time comes, the world will see what you have been building, not through your words, but through the undeniable reality of your success. The need for validation is one of the greatest chains that bind people to lives of limitation. From a young age, many are conditioned to seek approval, to be praised, to be accepted, to be acknowledged. But in doing so, they unknowingly give away their power. The moment you look outside yourself for validation, you allow the opinions of others to dictate your worth, your choices, and ultimately, your destiny. True freedom begins the moment you detach from this need and realize that you do not require permission to become the person you were meant to be. When you constantly seek validation, you live in a state of uncertainty. You measure your worth based on how others perceive you, and because opinions are ever changing, so is your sense of self. One day you may feel confident because someone praises you. The next you may feel doubtful because someone criticizes you. This is a dangerous way to live because it means your inner world is controlled by forces outside of you. But the truth is, no one can define you except yourself. No one holds the authority to determine your value. The only validation you truly need is your own. Detaching from external validation is not about rejecting feedback or isolating yourself from the world. It is about recognizing that you are the ultimate authority over your life. You must learn to trust your own judgment, to stand firm in your beliefs even when others do not understand them. If you are constantly looking for reassurance, you will always be at the mercy of others' opinions, and your life will become a reflection of their expectations rather than your true desires. The greatest minds, the most successful individuals, and the most powerful people in history did not seek approval. They walked their path with certainty, often in the face of opposition, ridicule, and doubt. They understood that seeking validation is a distraction, a way of handing control over to those who do not see the vision as clearly as they do. They were not swayed by public opinion because they knew that true conviction does not require confirmation. When you stop seeking validation, you become unshakable. You no longer need constant reassurance that you are on the right path. You simply trust yourself. You move with a quiet confidence, knowing that your worth is not up for debate. This shift in mindset liberates you. You are no longer held back by fear of judgment. You stop hesitating, stop second-guessing, and start living fully, unapologetically, as the person you were meant to be. Many people remain trapped in a cycle of seeking approval because they fear rejection. They fear being misunderstood or criticized, but rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a sign that not everyone is meant to walk with you. The opinions of others are shaped by their own limitations, fears, and beliefs. What someone else thinks of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. The moment you understand this, you reclaim your power. Walking your path with certainty does not mean you will never face resistance. In fact, the stronger your belief in yourself, the more you will challenge the status quo, and the more opposition you may encounter. But this is not a sign to stop, it is a sign to keep going. If you live for approval, you will live a life of compromise, but if you live for truth, you will experience a freedom that most people never taste. Trust yourself. You do not need permission to evolve, to grow, to change. You do not need approval to chase your dreams, to walk away from what no longer serves you, or to step into the life you desire. The only permission you need is your own. And when you give it to yourself, when you fully embrace the power that has always been within you, the world will have no choice but to recognize the force that you have become. Energy is the currency of life. Where you direct it determines what you experience. Most people spend their energy carelessly, focused on others, consumed by opinions, reacting to external circumstances. They scatter their power, giving their attention to things that do not serve them, and then wonder why life feels chaotic and unfulfilling. But the truth is simple. The energy you give is the energy you receive. If you pour your attention into distractions, you will receive more distractions. If you obsess over what others think, you will feel uncertain and dependent on their approval. But if you focus on yourself, your growth, your desires, your inner world, life aligns in your favor, bringing you exactly what you seek. Many do not realize how much energy they waste by being overly concerned with others. They analyze people's opinions, compare themselves, and seek validation, not understanding that every thought and emotion directed outward weakens their own power. The more you give your energy to others in this way, the less you have for yourself. This is why so many feel drained, stuck, or lost, because their energy is not focused on their own path. They are living reactively instead of intentionally. But when you shift that focus inward, everything changes. You reclaim your energy. You stop chasing and start attracting. The moment you prioritize yourself, your goals, your mindset, your well-being, you begin to move differently. You radiate confidence, and that confidence draws opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your desires. This is not a coincidence. It is a reflection of the law that governs all things. What you send out is what you receive. If you constantly focus on negativity, on what is wrong, on what you lack, on what others are doing, you invite more of the same into your life. But if you shift your energy to gratitude, self-improvement, and possibility, life responds accordingly. It is not about forcing things to happen, but about creating the right internal environment for them to happen naturally. When you operate from a place of abundance, abundance flows toward you. When you move with certainty, life mirrors that certainty back to you. This is why focusing on yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. It is not selfish, it is necessary. The more you invest in your own energy, the more magnetic you become. You do not need to chase, convince, or struggle. You simply need to align. And alignment happens when you stop looking outward for direction and start trusting that everything you need is already within you. The world will try to pull your energy in 1,000 different directions. It will tempt you to compare, to react, to seek approval. But every time you give in to these distractions, you weaken your own power. Instead, discipline yourself to remain focused. Ask yourself daily, where is my energy going? Is it fueling my growth? Or is it being wasted on things beyond my control? When you truly understand that energy is your most valuable asset, you will guard it fiercely. You will stop engaging in pointless arguments. You will stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You will stop seeking love, success, or happiness outside of yourself, because you will know that everything you desire is a reflection of the energy you cultivate within. Let others do as they wish. Let them think as they please. None of that concerns you. Your only responsibility is to master your own energy, to direct it with intention, and to trust that by doing so, life will unfold exactly as it should. When you focus on yourself, you are not ignoring the world. You are simply choosing to shape it rather than be shaped by it. And in doing so, you unlock a power that few ever realize, the power to create the life you truly desire. Not everyone is meant to understand you. This is a truth that once accepted will set you free. Many people spend their lives trying to explain themselves, justify their choices, and gain approval from those who were never meant to see their vision. But when you seek understanding from others, you give away your power. You make their perception more important than your own growth. The reality is your journey is yours alone, and not everyone will see it, appreciate it, or support it, and that is perfectly fine. As you evolve, you will notice that your silence unsettles people. Some will misinterpret your distance as arrogance, coldness, or even rejection. They will question why you are not as available, why you no longer engage in meaningless conversations, why you have shifted your focus inward, but their confusion is not your concern. The path of growth requires solitude. It demands that you remove yourself from distractions, from unnecessary attachments, and from the need to explain yourself at every turn. Those who truly align with you will not need an explanation. They will understand your silence without question. When you begin to change, when you elevate your thinking, when you prioritize your peace, when you no longer entertain negativity, some will feel uncomfortable. They may resist your transformation because it challenges their own way of being. They were comfortable with who you used to be, with the version of you that was always available, always explaining, always seeking approval. But you are not here to remain stagnant for the comfort of others. You are here to grow. And growth often requires outgrowing people, places, and patterns that no longer serve you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them create their own stories about why you have become more distant, more focused, more selective with your energy. It is not your job to correct their assumptions. Your only responsibility is to continue evolving. Those who are meant to be in your life will adjust to your growth. Those who are not will remove themselves. Either way, it is not your burden to carry. One of the greatest mistakes you can make is slowing down your own progress just to be more relatable to others. You do not need to shrink yourself to fit into spaces you have outgrown. You do not need to dim your light so that others feel comfortable in your presence. The right people, the ones who are aligned with your purpose, will not only accept your transformation, but will celebrate it. They will respect your silence, understand your distance, and support your decision to focus on yourself. There is great power in realizing that understanding is not a requirement for connection. Some of the most profound shifts in your life will happen in solitude, without validation, without applause, and without explanation. This is because true transformation happens within. It is an internal process, not something that needs to be broadcasted or justified. You do not need the world to understand you. You only need to understand yourself. If you spend your energy trying to convince others of your worth, your vision, or your decisions, you will exhaust yourself. Instead, let your actions speak. Move in silence. Focus on your path. Allow your evolution to unfold naturally. The right people will recognize your growth without needing an explanation. The wrong people will question it. because they were never meant to follow you on this journey. Your purpose is not to be understood, it is to evolve, to become the highest version of yourself, to embrace change without hesitation, to walk your path with confidence, even when no one else sees the destination. Let them misunderstand, let them talk, let them wonder, it does not matter. What matters is that you keep moving forward unshaken, unapologetic, and fully aligned with who you are meant to be. Faith is not built in what is seen, it is built in what is unseen. It is the quiet confidence that what you hold within will inevitably become your reality. Most people struggle with this because they seek external confirmation before they believe. They want signs, validation, and proof before they trust in their desires. But true faith requires no proof. It demands that you trust the unseen so completely that the outer world has no choice but to conform. When you withdraw from the need to explain yourself, you allow faith to work in your favor. You stop looking for validation from others, and instead you rest in the knowing that what you have accepted within will soon take shape in the physical world. The need to convince others is a sign of doubt. If you truly believed, you would not feel the need to explain, defend, or justify your vision. You would hold it in silence, knowing that time will reveal all things. There is immense power in keeping your desires private. Many people weaken their manifestations by speaking too soon, sharing their dreams with those who cannot see what they see. They open themselves up to doubt, criticism, and external opinions that dilute their inner certainty. But when you understand how faith operates, you no longer seek permission or approval. You hold your vision close, nurturing it in the unseen until it becomes undeniable. Everything in this world begins as an unseen idea. The tallest buildings, the greatest inventions, the most profound transformations, all started as thoughts. Before they became visible, they existed in the mind of someone who dared to believe. They did not need the world's approval. They did not need others to understand. They simply held on to their vision with unwavering faith, allowing it to take root and grow in silence. You must do the same. Instead of explaining yourself, focus on embodying the version of yourself that already has what you seek. If you desire success, feel successful now. If you desire love, feel loved now. If you desire abundance, feel abundant now. Your imagination is the blueprint for your future, and what you persist in assuming will harden into fact. This is how faith operates, not by waiting for proof, but by trusting that the unseen is more real than what the eyes perceive. Most people live in reverse. They react to their current circumstances and assume that what they see is all there is. They forget that their current reality is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If they wish to change their life, they must first change what they accept as true within. This is where faith becomes essential. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the imagined and the experienced. Silence is the companion of faith. When you move in silence, you allow the unseen to work on your behalf. You do not waste energy explaining yourself to those who cannot see what you see. You do not seek reassurance from the world. Instead, you stand firm in your belief, knowing that the manifestation is already on its way. The moment you let go of the need to prove anything, you step into alignment with the very thing you desire. Others wonder. Let them question your silence, your distance, your unwavering confidence. It is not your job to make them understand. Your only task is to hold your vision so steadily that nothing can shake it. When you master this, life will unfold effortlessly in your favor. What was once unseen will become undeniable. What was once only imagined will become your lived reality. And when that day comes, you will realize that faith was never about proving anything to others. It was always about proving it to yourself. The journey of focusing on yourself and staying silent is one of inner mastery. It requires you to detach from the need for validation, to trust in the unseen, and to understand that not everyone is meant to comprehend your path. True power does not announce itself, it moves in silence, allowing faith to shape reality without the need for explanation. When you withdraw from distractions and external opinions, you reclaim your energy, align with your desires, and step into the life you were meant to live. Let others misunderstand you. Let them question your distance. It is not your concern. Your purpose is not to be seen or validated. It is to evolve. The less you explain, the more life unfolds in your favor. So walk in quiet confidence, knowing that what you hold within will manifest without. Move with certainty, trust in yourself, and let your results speak louder than words ever could. Thank you. You stand at the doorway of infinite possibilities. The only thing separating you from your desire is your own mind. You have been told that change takes time, that patience is necessary. But I tell you now, time is an illusion. The moment you claim something as yours, the universe moves to bring it forth. For a moment, and bring your desire into your awareness, not as something distant, not as something you hope to have, but as something that is already yours. See it, feel it, know it. The world you experience is nothing more than the outpicturing of your inner assumptions. What you accept as true in consciousness must manifest in form. Do not beg, do not plead. To desire something is to acknowledge its absence, but to assume it is yours is to claim its presence. Assume. Right now, enter the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel the satisfaction deep within you, as though your desire is already fact. How would you breathe, stand, or speak if your desire had already come to pass? Step into that version of yourself now, the one who already has it. Be it. The world is a mirror, reflecting back the assumptions you hold most dominantly. If doubt arises, silence it with certainty. Rest in the feeling that it is done. You do not need to lift a finger to force the outcome. Your only task is to accept, to feel, to know. The moment you align with the reality of your fulfilled desire, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. 1 hour from now, something will shift. Perhaps a sign, a message, an opportunity, but more importantly, you will have changed. And as you change, your world must follow. So stand in your power. Assume. Feel. And watch as what once seemed impossible bends effortlessly to your will. The world you see with your eyes is not as solid, fixed, or real as you have been led to believe. What you touch, what you hear, what you perceive as reality, is nothing more than a reflection, a mirror of what you hold within. The foundation of your entire existence is not built upon external circumstances, but upon the images, feelings, and assumptions you entertain in the privacy of your own mind. If you wish to change your life, you must first understand this truth. Imagination is the only reality. Everything you now experience was once an unseen thought, a fleeting image, a momentary feeling that became persistent. Your job is not to struggle with the outer world, but to command the inner, knowing with absolute certainty that the outer world will conform. Take a moment to observe your surroundings, the home you live in, the relationships you hold, the circumstances of your life. All of it existed first as an idea, a belief, a state of being before it solidified into what you now call reality. What many fail to realize is that the world does not happen to them, they happen to the world. They are the cause and the world is the effect. If you persist in an idea, in a vision, and feel it deeply enough, it must manifest. There is no exception to this law. The person who imagines themselves as a failure will find evidence to confirm that assumption, just as surely as the one who imagines themselves as successful will see their world bend to support that truth. The process is the same. The only difference is what you choose to believe in. You must abandon the notion that reality is something outside of your control, something fixed and unchangeable. It is not. It is fluid, ever moving, ever responding to the inner movements of your imagination. What you see today is merely a snapshot of past assumptions, a delayed reflection of the states you have occupied. If you desire change, it is not the outside world you must fight, but the inner world you must refine. Imagination is not some fleeting fantasy, not an idle daydream without consequence. It is the force behind all creation. Every invention, every masterpiece, every revolution in human history began in the unseen realm of thought before it took form. What you hold in your imagination with faith and conviction will harden into fact, just as surely as the sun rises each morning. The challenge is not in the act of imagining, but in the ability to persist in the assumption despite what the senses may report. Many abandon their desires because they do not see immediate evidence. They allow doubt to creep in, letting the outer world dictate their beliefs rather than allowing their inner world to shape their experience. But you must not be swayed by appearances. What you see now is simply a result of past imaginings. If you hold firm to your new vision, the world must shift accordingly. Begin now. Close your eyes and call forth the image of your fulfilled desire. Do not see it as something distant, something you hope for in the future. See it as now. Feel it. Experience the joy, the relief, the excitement. Let it become more real to you than the world outside. When you open your eyes, walk as though it is already done. Speak, think, and act from the state of the wish fulfilled. Doubt will whisper in your ear, trying to pull you back into old ways of thinking. Ignore it. The world may not change instantly, but it is already rearranging itself to bring forth your assumption. Persist. Hold the feeling. Trust that what is unseen will become seen, for it is law. You are not at the mercy of fate, chance, or circumstances. You are the creator. The power that shapes worlds moves through you, waiting only for direction. Take command of your imagination, and you take command of your life. Change begins within, and when you master the inner world, the outer world must bow to your vision. The greatest secret to manifesting your desires is not struggle, effort, or waiting. It is assumption. Assumption is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the imagined and the real. It is not enough to wish, to hope, or to dream of a better life. You must assume that your desire is already fulfilled. The moment you accept it as fact in your inner world, it begins to take form in the outer world. This is not a possibility. It is a law. Most people live in a state of waiting. They wait for signs, for circumstances to change, for permission to believe in what they desire. But waiting is an acknowledgement of lack. To wait for something is to admit that it is not yet yours. And as long as you hold that assumption, your world will reflect it. The one who waits is always waiting, just as the one who assumes possession is always receiving. You must walk in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means moving through life not as someone hoping for change, but as someone who has already received it. If you desired wealth, how would you think, feel, and behave if it were already yours? Would you worry? Would you doubt? Or would you rest in the certainty that it is done? If you long for love, do you dwell in loneliness, or do you assume the warmth of already being cherished? Your world conforms to your dominant assumptions, not to fleeting wishes. To assume means to embody. It is not merely affirming words or visualizing passively. It is stepping into the reality of your fulfilled desire and carrying yourself as the version of you who already has what they want. If you were already successful, how would you carry yourself? If you were already living in your dream home, how would you feel as you move through each day? Would your posture change? Would your thoughts be different? Would your emotions reflect fulfillment rather than longing? This is the key. You must train your mind to dwell in the feeling of already having. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. It does not create, it responds. If you assume lack, it will show you lack. If you assume fulfillment, it must mirror that fulfillment back to you. There is no force outside of you deciding what you can or cannot have. There is only your assumption. Do not wait for proof. Proof follows belief, not the other way around. Many people make the mistake of saying, I will believe it when I see it, but this is backward. You will see it when you believe it. The world has no choice but to conform to the reality you hold most dominantly in your consciousness. If doubt arises, do not entertain it. Doubt is simply the mind clinging to the old state, the state you have outgrown. Do not argue with it, simply return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You are not convincing anyone else, you are convincing yourself. And once you accept your new reality internally, the external world will rearrange itself accordingly. Persist. The moment you assume, something shifts. You may not see it immediately, but the unseen forces of reality are already in motion. The world must yield to your conviction. Do not waver between belief and doubt, between assuming and then questioning. Hold firm. The one who remains unwavering in their assumption will see their desire materialize with absolute certainty. Your desires were given to you for a reason. They are not random. They are a call to step into a new state of being. An assumption is the vehicle that takes you there. No force outside of you is stopping your manifestation. Only your unwillingness to assume it is already yours. Right now, in this very moment, assume. Assume the feeling, the knowing, the certainty that what you desire is already done. Carry it with you. Live from it. And watch as the world bends to reflect the truth you have claimed. Time, in its relentless progression, is nothing more than a construct, a framework we have invented to make sense of our experiences. In truth, there is no waiting, no striving, there is only being. When you learn to accept your desire as true in this very moment, you step into a realm where the boundaries of time dissolve, and your inner conviction immediately influences your outer world. Every moment becomes an opportunity to affirm your reality, to choose the feeling of fulfillment rather than the anticipation of its arrival. Imagine for a moment that the act of creation is not a process that unfolds gradually, but an instantaneous unfolding of your inner truth. When you fully immerse yourself in the present and allow the reality you desire to resonate within, you are no longer separated by the illusion of past regrets or future anxieties. Instead, you exist in a state of pure, unadulterated now, where the power of your inner vision is unchallenged by the ticking of a clock or the calendar pages turning. In this moment, every breath you take is a reaffirmation of the fact that your desire is already a reality. The concept of waiting is a deceptive one. It implies that something is missing, that an external force must act, or that you must earn the right to experience what you truly seek. But when you understand that every external manifestation is simply a mirror reflecting your inner state, the idea of waiting becomes obsolete. It is not about working harder or enduring prolonged periods of struggle. It is about aligning yourself with the truth of your desire and inhabiting that truth wholeheartedly. In that instant of alignment, the desire externalizes because the reality you have imagined so vividly in your mind cannot help but find expression in the physical world. When you embrace the power of now, you release yourself from the tyranny of time. Instead of allowing the past to anchor you or the future to unsettle you, you remain anchored in the eternal present. This is the space where creation happens, where the image of your desire, held in the depths of your consciousness, is given life. As you accept that your desire is already true, you transcend the limitations of time. The external world, which seems to operate on its own sluggish timeline, is compelled to catch up with the immediacy of your inner knowing. It is as if your consciousness sends out a signal so potent that it reorders the fabric of reality to mirror the truth you have established within yourself. There is a profound freedom in realizing that the power to manifest does not lie in endless waiting or exhausting striving. It lies in the simple act of being, of existing in a state where you already have what you desire. When you rest in the certainty of your wish fulfilled, Your energy flows effortlessly, like a river that finds its course without resistance. The struggle to bridge the gap between what is and what isn't evaporates when you claim the fullness of the now. It is a state of surrender, yet also of tremendous empowerment. You surrender the notion that time delays your fulfillment and instead embrace the certainty that every moment holds the potential for immediate creation. Consider how this shift in perspective transforms your everyday life. Instead of fixating on what has not yet come to pass, you allow yourself to experience the joy and satisfaction of your fulfilled desire right now. This does not mean ignoring the practicalities of life, but rather it means that you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Your inner world becomes the primary source of your experience, and every action, every thought is imbued with the feeling of completeness. With this deep-seated conviction, you move through life with a quiet assurance that nothing is missing, that all is as it should be. When you adopt the power of now, you tap into a wellspring of creativity and possibility that is always available. Your inner state becomes a fertile ground where every desire, every aspiration is nurtured and eventually blossoms into reality. The key is to hold fast to the present, to recognize that the moment in which you stand is all there ever is. By doing so, you honor the immediacy of your existence, and you send a clear message to the universe that your inner vision is not a distant dream, but an eternal truth that commands manifestation. In embracing the now, you step into a reality where every instant is a celebration of your creative power. You become the master of your destiny by simply accepting that what you seek is already done. And in that acceptance, you find the freedom to live fully, unburdened by the constraints of time and expectation. The power to create the life you desire does not come from wishful thinking or sheer determination alone. It comes from emotional certainty. The moment you feel, with unwavering conviction, that your desire is already yours, the unseen begins to take form in the seen. Your emotions are the bridge between what exists within and what appears without. When you master the ability to generate the feeling of already having what you desire, you step into a realm where manifestation is effortless and inevitable. The mind often plays tricks, keeping you trapped in a cycle of doubt and longing. You may visualize, you may affirm, but if deep down you still feel uncertain, if you still experience the absence of what you seek, then you are reinforcing lack rather than fulfillment. The secret is not in the words you say or the images you hold. It is in the emotions that accompany them. You must not only think about your desire, you must feel it as though it is real now. Imagine for a moment that your greatest wish has already come true. Breathe deeply into that reality. How does it feel? There is no tension, no worry, no questioning. There is only relief. The longing has vanished because the thing you wanted is now yours. You feel gratitude, not for something you hope will come, but for something that is already here. Your heart expands with joy, and you move through life with the quiet assurance of someone who possesses all they need. This emotional certainty is what seals the deal. It is what transforms an imagined state into an external fact. Many make the mistake of believing they need to see proof before they can feel certainty. They wait for signs, for movement in the outer world before allowing themselves to rejoice. But the truth is reversed. The feeling comes first, and the evidence follows. The universe does not respond to vague hopes or empty affirmations. It responds to the deep, unshakable knowing within you. When you feel the reality of your desire with absolute conviction, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Think of the times in your life when you knew something with certainty, long before it appeared. Perhaps there was a job, an opportunity, or a relationship that you just knew was yours. You didn't second guess it. You didn't need external validation. You simply felt it was already done. And sure enough, events unfolded in your favor. This is not coincidence. It is the natural law of manifestation at work. What you accept emotionally as real must externalize, for your emotions are the creative force that gives life to your thoughts. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your manifestation. When you oscillate between belief and uncertainty, between feeling the wish fulfilled and then fearing it won't happen, you are sending mixed signals. The universe mirrors back to you exactly what you hold in your consciousness. And if that consciousness is unstable, the results will be equally uncertain. But when you lock in the feeling of already having your desire, when you rest in the security of knowing it is done, then it must materialize in your world. This is why gratitude is such a powerful tool. Gratitude is not a passive emotion. It is an active acknowledgement of possession. When you feel grateful, you are not yearning, you are confirming. You are signaling to the universe that you already have what you desire, and in doing so, you invite it into your reality with even greater speed. Gratitude removes resistance, dissolves doubt, and deepens your emotional certainty. It is the final stamp that declares your manifestation complete. The practice of emotional certainty is not about forcing yourself to feel something artificially. It is about training your mind and body to reside in the state of the wish fulfilled. It is about shifting from a state of wanting to a state of having, from hoping to knowing. You do this by immersing yourself in the emotions of fulfillment daily. You wake up each morning feeling as if your desire has already been granted. You carry yourself throughout the day with the energy of someone who has already received what they asked for. You go to bed in peace, resting in the assurance that it is done. Your emotions are the key, the bridge, the final step in making your desire a reality. Thought alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by feeling. If you can hold the emotional certainty that what you seek is already yours, then there is no power in the universe that can deny you. The world will shift, people will move, circumstances will align, all to bring forth that which you have already claimed within. The moment you accept your desire as real, let it go. Do not check for signs, do not question when or how it will happen, and do not contradict it with disbelief. The very act of needing proof or searching for validation introduces doubt, which disrupts the natural unfolding of your manifestation. True creation happens in certainty, in the calm knowing that what you have imagined is already yours. Detachment is not indifference. It is the highest form of trust. Many people struggle with detachment because they confuse it with giving up. They think that if they stop thinking about their desire, they will lose it. But the opposite is true. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to see if it is growing. You trust the process. You know that as long as the conditions are right, the seed will sprout. In the same way, once you have accepted your desire as true, you must allow it the space to manifest without interference. Clutching to it too tightly, obsessing over when it will appear, or constantly looking for evidence only signals to the universe that you do not yet believe in its reality. Doubt is subtle but powerful. It creeps in the moment you start wondering if what you desire is possible, if you are worthy of it, or if the world will allow it to happen. Each of these thoughts contradicts the state of having. If you had already received your desire, would you be checking for signs? Would you be questioning its existence? No. You would be living in the reality of already having it. That is the energy you must maintain. The more you question, the more you delay. The more you let go, the faster it comes. Detachment is not about suppressing your desires, but about surrendering them with full confidence. It means shifting from a mindset of waiting to a mindset of receiving. Waiting implies uncertainty. It suggests that you are still hoping, still wishing, still unsure. But receiving means you know it is already yours, and because you know, you no longer need to search for proof. Just as you do not doubt whether the sun will rise tomorrow, you do not doubt that your desire will materialize. You trust that the moment you claimed it, it became real, and now it is simply making its way to you in the most natural way possible. One of the greatest barriers to detachment is the habit of overanalyzing. People often get caught in the trap of questioning every little detail, trying to figure out how things will unfold or worrying about obstacles that may arise. But manifestation does not require your micromanagement. It requires your faith. The path to your desire is not yours to control, it is yours to allow. The moment you interfere, you introduce resistance. Instead of trying to manipulate circumstances, step back and let things fall into place. Rest in the knowing that all is already taken care of. Detachment feels like peace. It is the relief of knowing that your work is done. When you have placed an order at a restaurant, you do not keep asking the waiter whether the food is coming. You do not worry about whether the chef knows how to cook it or whether they will forget your request. You simply relax, engage in conversation, and trust that what you ordered is on its way. This is the same level of certainty you must cultivate with your manifestations. The moment you have assumed it as true, it is done. Your only job is to stay in the feeling of having, not to question its arrival. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to detach, because it places you in the state of already having. When you express gratitude for something, you are affirming its presence in your life. It is impossible to feel both thankful and doubtful at the same time. If you truly believe you have received your desire, gratitude will come naturally. And if you practice gratitude daily, it will reinforce your certainty. When you feel thankful, you are not chasing, you are not searching, you are enjoying the moment, which is exactly what someone who already has their desire would do. Detachment is also about freeing yourself from external validation. Many people look to the outside world for signs that their manifestation is working. They constantly check for movement, waiting for confirmation before they allow themselves to believe. But true manifestation comes from within. The world reflects what you hold inside, not the other way around. The less you need to see proof, the faster proof will appear. Let go of the habit of measuring progress, and instead focus on maintaining the inner state of fulfillment. The fastest way to receive your desire is to forget about needing it. This does not mean you stop wanting it. It means you stop longing for it. The energy of longing creates distance, while the energy of fulfillment brings it closer. If you can live as if you already have what you desire, you will no longer feel the need to chase it. And when you stop chasing, it comes to you naturally. This is the paradox of manifestation. The more you hold on, the further it drifts. The more you release, the faster it arrives. Detachment is the final step that locks in your manifestation. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you do not need to fight for what is already yours. The moment you accept your desire as real and let go of the need to question or check for its arrival, you clear the path for it to appear effortlessly. You do not wait, you receive. You do not hope, you know. And in that knowing, your reality transforms. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a reflection of your inner state. Every belief you hold, every assumption you entertain, and every conviction you accept as true shapes the reality unfolding before you. The world does not operate independently of your mind. It bends and molds itself to fit the dominant thoughts you persist in. If you wish to see a different reality, you must first change the one within. Most people believe that the external world is fixed, something they must struggle against or work tirelessly to change. They think circumstances control them, that they are at the mercy of chance, fate, or other people's decisions. But this belief is an illusion. The world is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. Your dominant state of being, what you consistently assume to be true, creates the conditions you encounter. It is never the other way around. If you believe the world is unfair, difficult, or filled with struggle, it will be. Not because life is inherently that way, but because your inner world dictates the experience you have. The same is true if you assume life is abundant, easy, and full of joy. Whatever you persist in believing, the world will faithfully mirror. This is why two people can live in the same city, face similar situations, yet have completely different experiences. It is not the world that determines their reality, but their perception of it. Assumptions are the unseen forces sculpting your world. They are the silent architects of your life, shaping every interaction, every opportunity, and every challenge. When you assume you are lucky, opportunities seem to appear effortlessly. When you assume people respect you, they treat you accordingly. When you assume things always work out in your favor, they do. This is not magic, nor is it coincidence. It is the law of consciousness in action. Your assumptions dictate the way the world responds to you. Many people try to change their lives by forcing external conditions to shift before they have addressed the root cause, their own beliefs. They work harder, chase more, fight against circumstances, all while still holding on to the same limiting assumptions that created those circumstances in the first place. But forcing change from the outside is futile. The real transformation happens within. The moment you shift your inner reality, the external world has no choice but to follow. This is why the most powerful work you can do is not in trying to manipulate the world around you, but in mastering the world within you. If you want more abundance, you must assume you are already abundant. If you want love, you must assume you are already loved. If you want success, you must assume you are already successful. The external world does not initiate change, it responds to it. And it responds with absolute precision, always reflecting back what you hold as true. This is why changing your assumptions is the key to transformation. The challenge, however, is that most people do not even realize the assumptions they hold. They operate from deeply ingrained beliefs that they have never questioned. If you were told from childhood that money is hard to come by, you assume it is true, and the world confirms it. If you grew up believing you are not worthy of love, your relationships will reflect that belief. These assumptions run beneath the surface, quietly dictating the experiences you have. But the moment you recognize them, you reclaim your power to change them. Awareness is the first step. Begin observing your life not as something happening to you, but as something revealing your inner state. If you constantly face obstacles, ask yourself, what am I assuming about life? If people treat you with disrespect, ask yourself, what am I assuming about my worth? The outer world is your greatest teacher because it shows you without distortion what you truly believe. Once you identify the assumptions that no longer serve you, replace them. Do not fight against the old, simply introduce the new. Assume the reality you wish to experience, move through the world as if it is already yours. The key is persistence. Your mind may resist at first, but the more you impress new assumptions upon it, the more natural they become. And as they become natural within you, they become inevitable outside of you. You do not need to control people, circumstances, or events. You only need to control your inner world. When you shift your assumptions, the world reshapes itself to fit them. This is the secret to effortless manifestation. There is no struggle, no waiting, no forcing. There is only alignment. The world does not bend to your will, it bends to your certainty. The moment you know something is true within, it must become true without. Nothing in the world is separate from you. Every experience, every opportunity, every challenge is a reflection of the assumptions you hold. If you wish to change what you see, change what you believe. The world cannot help but conform to the image you hold within. Everything you seek is already within you. The world is not something separate, not something you must chase or struggle against. It is a reflection of your inner state. Your assumptions shape your experiences, your emotions bridge the unseen to the seen, and your certainty brings desires into reality. The moment you accept your wish as already fulfilled, the world must conform. There is no delay, no external force working against you, only your own consciousness unfolding into form. Detached from doubt, rest in the knowing that it is done, and watch as reality shifts to meet your conviction. You are the creator of your experience. What you hold as true within must become true without. There is no need to wait, beg, or force. Simply assume, feel, and trust. The world bends to your dominant state of being. Align with your desire, and it must become your reality. Think on. Have you ever felt as though your world was being turned upside down? as if everything that was once stable is now shifting beyond your control. Do not fear. This is not destruction. This is divine reconstruction. Before great blessings arrive, life often becomes unpredictable. You may face sudden challenges, unexpected endings, and moments of deep uncertainty. But understand this: God never subtracts without the intent to multiply. What feels like rejection is, in truth, redirection. What appears as loss is simply the pruning before the harvest. One of the first signs that something extraordinary is coming your way is separation. You will notice relationships falling away, old habits losing their appeal, and doors closing without explanation. Do not fight this process. God removes what no longer serves you because He is making space for something greater. Resistance will appear. The path may suddenly seem filled with obstacles, delays, and tests that stretch your faith to its limits. But recognize this: resistance is the signal that you are moving in the right direction. The bigger the blessing, the greater the opposition. This is not the time to retreat. It is the time to stand firm in the unseen promise. There is the undeniable inner knowing. You will feel it, a quiet but unwavering certainty deep within you. Even when nothing on the outside affirms it, something inside you will refuse to let go of the vision. That is God's way of whispering, "Hold on. I am about to do something beyond what you imagine." But before the manifestation comes the final test: patience. You will be asked to trust, to believe, and to keep walking, even when you cannot yet see the destination. This is where most give up. But those who endure, those who trust, despite the silence, will walk into a reality far greater than they ever prayed for. And just when you are ready to surrender, you will begin to see the signs. A sudden opportunity, a chance encounter, a message that seems meant just for you. The unseen world will start aligning in ways beyond your comprehension. So if you are in a season of uncertainty, if you are feeling stretched, tested, or alone, rejoice. Something big is on its way. The preparation may be uncomfortable, but the promise is certain. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. Your breakthrough is not far. It is already written. All you must do now is trust, believe, and step forward into the unseen. For what is coming is beyond anything you have ever imagined. There comes a moment in life when everything you once relied upon begins to shift, as if the very foundation beneath your feet is crumbling. The stability you once knew seems distant, and what was familiar suddenly feels foreign. You may find yourself questioning why things are falling apart, why relationships are dissolving, why opportunities that seem so certain are now slipping through your fingers. It is in these moments of deep uncertainty that many feel abandoned, lost in the chaos of unanswered prayers. But what if this apparent destruction is not an end, but a beginning? What if what you perceive as loss is, in truth, divine preparation for something far greater than you could ever imagine? There is a higher order to all things, a rhythm unseen by the physical eye, but deeply felt in the soul. When great change is on the horizon, life must first be rearranged to make room for it. You cannot carry the old into the new. The past must be stripped away so that something greater can take its place. It is not punishment, it is not misfortune, it is simply the divine clearing space for what is meant for you. Consider the ways in which growth happens. A seed, before it becomes a tree, must first break apart beneath the soil. To the untrained eye, it would appear as though the seed is being destroyed, but in reality it is beginning its transformation. The shell must crack, the roots must push through the dirt, and only after enduring darkness and pressure does it finally break through to the light. Such is the process of elevation. Before you can rise, you must first be broken open. Many resist this breaking, clinging to what is familiar even when it no longer serves them. They hold on to relationships that drain them, jobs that limit them, environments that keep them stagnant. They pray for change but fear what it requires. And so, when the shift begins, when people leave, when doors close, when life seems to unravel, they panic. They fight to hold on to what was instead of trusting what is to come. But you cannot step into the next chapter of your life while clinging to the last. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to retreat. It is a call to surrender. Life is removing what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. The friendships that faded, the opportunities that vanished, the plans that fell apart. It was all necessary. If it was meant for you, it would have stayed. If it was removed, it was never truly yours to begin with, or its purpose in your journey has been fulfilled. In the midst of transition, the mind searches for certainty. It wants to understand why things are happening the way they are, why events unfolded as they did. But this process is not meant to be understood from the perspective of the present. It only becomes clear in hindsight. You must trust that what seems like chaos now is actually divine order in disguise. Think of the caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside, it looks as though it is trapped, undergoing an unseen struggle. But within, a transformation is taking place. The very structure of its being is dissolving, reshaping, preparing for the moment it will emerge as something completely new. If you were to interrupt this process, to force it out before its time, it would never develop the strength needed to fly. So too must you allow your transformation to unfold. At times, the breaking will feel unbearable. You will question why things are happening the way they are. You may feel as though you've been abandoned by life itself, as if everything you worked for has been taken from you without reason. But in those moments, remind yourself that you are not being destroyed. You are being redefined. You are not losing. You are being positioned for something greater. There is no elevation without disruption. There is no growth without discomfort. Those who rise the highest are often the ones who endured the most profound transformation, the ones who trusted even when they could not see, the ones who released what no longer served them and stepped forward, even when the path ahead was unclear. This is not a setback, it is a setup. Life is not punishing you, it is preparing you. The things being stripped away were never meant to be permanent. They were simply the scaffolding, the temporary structures that supported you for a time. Now they must be removed so that you can stand fully in the new reality that awaits you. So let go. Stop fighting to hold on to what is leaving. Stop mourning what is meant to be released. Trust that the space being cleared is making room for something beyond your imagination. What is coming is greater than what was lost. The divine does not take without the intent to give in greater measure. One day you will look back and understand. You will see that what felt like the end was actually the beginning, that the pain was not punishment but preparation, that every loss led to an even greater gain. Until then, trust the process. Trust that life is always working in your favor, even when it feels like it isn't. You are not being broken, you are being transformed. And what is waiting for you on the other side of this moment is beyond anything you have ever known. There comes a time in your journey when the world around you begins to shift in ways you cannot control. The people you once held close start to drift away. The doors that once stood open now close without warning. The familiar conversations fade, and the noise that once filled your days is replaced by an unsettling silence. You may wonder why it is happening, why the ones who were once constant in your life are now absent, why the opportunities that seemed promising have vanished, why you feel more alone than ever before. But what if this isolation is not a punishment but a sign? What if this solitude is not an empty void but a sacred space for transformation? God does not elevate you in the crowd. He separates you first. He pulls you away from distractions, from attachments, from the things that keep you bound to the person you once were. You may feel abandoned, as if the very fabric of your life is unraveling. But what is truly happening is a shedding, a necessary release of all that no longer aligns with your destiny. You cannot move forward while clinging to what was. And so, before the next chapter begins, before the breakthrough arrives, you will find yourself in the wilderness of solitude. This solitude is not a curse, it is a calling. A divine invitation to go deeper, to see more clearly, to become who you were always meant to be. When the noise of the world fades, when the opinions of others no longer cloud your mind, you begin to hear what was always there, the quiet yet powerful voice within. In this silence, you will come to know yourself in ways you never have before. You will see your own strength, your own resilience, your own worth. You will begin to shed the layers of identity that were shaped by others, peeling away the expectations, the false attachments, the need for external validation. At first, the isolation may feel unbearable. Humans are wired for connection, and to suddenly find yourself alone can feel unnatural. You may feel tempted to run back to familiar places, to rekindle old relationships, to seek comfort in the very things that life has been pulling you away from. But you must resist this urge. The separation is happening for a reason. The doors that closed were never meant to remain open. The people who left were never meant to stay. If they were part of your destiny, they would still be here. Let them go. Understand that not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next season of your life. Some relationships were only meant to serve a purpose for a time. Some connections were only meant to teach you lessons, not to last forever. Growth requires distance. Elevation requires separation. If you are being pulled into solitude, it is because God is preparing to reveal something to you that cannot be understood in the presence of distractions. The most profound moments of transformation happen in the quiet. It is in this stillness that you will begin to see the bigger picture, to recognize the patterns, to understand why things had to unfold the way they did. The answers you have been seeking will come, not through others, but through the deep knowing within you. This is the season where you will discover the power that has always been inside you, the strength that was buried beneath the noise, the wisdom that was drowned out by the world. Solitude is where your spirit is refined. It is where your faith is tested. It is where you are stripped of all illusions and left with nothing but the truth. And the truth is this: you were never alone. Even in your most isolated moments, even when it felt like no one understood, even when the silence felt unbearable, God was there, watching, guiding, preparing. The separation is not the end, it is the beginning. When the time is right, new doors will open, but this time they will not be doors of illusion or distraction. They will be doors aligned with your highest path. The people who enter your life next will not drain your energy but uplift you. The opportunities that come will not require you to shrink yourself, but to rise into your fullest expression. Everything that is truly meant for you will find you once you have been prepared to receive it. So embrace the solitude. Let it do its work. Allow it to shape you, to strengthen you, to clear the path ahead. The loneliness you feel now is temporary, but the transformation it brings will last forever. You are not being abandoned, you are being elevated, and when you emerge from this season, you will not be the same. You will be clearer, stronger, and more aligned than ever before. This is not a loss, this is preparation for something far greater than you could ever imagine. There will come a moment on your journey when nothing seems to go as planned. The path that once seemed clear suddenly becomes clouded with obstacles. The things that once flowed effortlessly now feel blocked at every turn. You put in the effort, yet nothing moves. You pray, yet the answer seems delayed. You move forward, but resistance meets you at every step. It feels as if everything is working against you. You question whether you should continue or turn back. But what if this opposition is not a sign to stop, but an indication that you are on the verge of something greater? Resistance always comes before revelation. The struggles you are facing are not random. They are not punishment. They are preparation. Every delay, every obstacle, every moment of frustration is shaping you, refining you, strengthening you for what lies ahead. If you were not meant for something greater, there would be no resistance. The fact that you are facing so much opposition is proof that something powerful is unfolding. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. Before it can break through the surface, it must push through the dirt, the darkness, the weight pressing down on it. The pressure is not meant to destroy it, but to strengthen it for its emergence. And just like that seed, you too are being prepared. The obstacles in your way are not barriers, they are stepping stones. The delays are not denials, they are divine timing at work. Yet in these moments, the mind plays tricks. Doubt creeps in. You begin to wonder if you are doing something wrong, if you have misread the signs, if you should give up altogether. This is where many people turn back. They mistake the resistance for a message to quit. But those who understand the nature of growth know that struggle is part of the process. Every great breakthrough is preceded by opposition. Every transformation requires discomfort. You cannot rise to a new level without first facing the forces that seek to keep you bound to the old one. The opposition you face is not there to stop you, it is there to test you. Do you truly believe in your vision? Will you stand firm when things don't go as expected? Will you keep moving forward when every excuse to quit presents itself? These challenges are refining your character. They are stripping away weakness, self-doubt, and fear. They are forcing you to develop resilience, faith, and patience. Delays can feel frustrating, but they are often the greatest blessings in disguise. What looks like stagnation is actually divine alignment. If something is being delayed, it is because the timing is not yet right. If you were to receive your breakthrough before you were fully prepared, you might mishandle it. There are lessons you must learn, perspectives you must gain, strength you must build before you step into the next level. The delay is not a rejection, it is a divine recalibration. Consider the caterpillar that must endure the darkness of the cocoon before it can emerge as a butterfly. The struggle it faces as it pushes through the cocoon is not a mistake, it is necessary. If someone were to cut the cocoon open prematurely, the butterfly would never develop the strength to fly. The same is true for you. The process may feel slow, the pressure may feel overwhelming, but every challenge is preparing you for the strength you will need to sustain the blessing that is coming. Opposition also serves another purpose. It reveals what is within you. It exposes the parts of you that still operate from fear, that still rely on external validation, that still question whether you are truly capable. And in that exposure, you are given the chance to grow, to release old doubts, to build new confidence, to strengthen your faith, to become someone who no longer reacts to delays with frustration, but with trust, someone who no longer sees obstacles as roadblocks, but as confirmation that something greater is coming. So when you encounter resistance, do not retreat, do not shrink back in fear, do not allow delays to make you doubt. Instead, lean into the process. Trust that every obstacle is shaping you. Trust that the delays are aligning you. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Keep going, keep believing, keep moving forward. The resistance you are facing now is the final test before the breakthrough. The pressure you feel is not a sign that you are failing, it is proof that you are on the verge of transformation. You are being refined, prepared, strengthened for something bigger than you can imagine. And when the moment comes, when the doors finally open, when the delays give way to destiny, you will understand why every obstacle was necessary. You will see that nothing was wasted. You will recognize that the resistance was never meant to break you, but to build you into the person who is ready to receive everything that has been waiting for you. There comes a time when everything around you seems uncertain. The world may look unstable, your plans may seem to fall apart, and nothing appears to be going as expected. Yet deep within you there is a quiet voice, a knowing that refuses to fade. It is not loud or demanding, but it is steady, unwavering, and undeniable. No matter how much doubt tries to creep in, no matter how many obstacles arise, this inner conviction remains. This is not wishful thinking, nor is it blind optimism. This is something deeper, something sacred. It is God whispering to you, reminding you that your breakthrough is near. When you are on the verge of something great, external circumstances will often suggest otherwise. You may experience setbacks, delays, and even moments of despair. People may doubt you, opportunities may seem scarce, and the road ahead may feel impossible to navigate. But through it all, there is an unshakable knowing within you that keeps pulling you forward. It is as if your soul already knows what is coming, even if your mind struggles to see it. This inner knowing is not something you create, it is something you receive. It is a divine confirmation, an assurance that cannot be logically explained, but can always be felt. It speaks to you in moments of stillness. It strengthens you when fear tries to take over. It reminds you that no matter how things appear, something is shifting in your favor. The breakthrough is already set in motion, and all you have to do is trust. Trusting in this knowing is not always easy. The logical mind demands evidence. It wants proof before belief. It looks at what is happening on the outside and insists that nothing is changing. But faith operates differently. Faith is the ability to stand firm even when there is no visible proof. Faith listens to the whisper of certainty rather than the noise of doubt. Faith does not wait for the manifestation to believe. It believes first, knowing that the manifestation must follow. There is a reason why you feel this inner certainty, despite everything around you seeming chaotic. It is because what is coming is already yours. You are not chasing it. You are aligning with it. You are not wishing for it. You are stepping into it. The unshakable knowing within you is evidence that what you seek is already making its way to you. Consider a mother in the final weeks of pregnancy. She may not see the child yet, but she knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is there. The waiting does not make her question whether the child exists. The discomfort does not make her doubt whether birth will happen. She carries the certainty within her, even when she cannot yet hold what she knows is coming. In the same way, you are carrying the promise of what is to come. The discomfort, the waiting, and even the uncertainty are all part of the process. But the knowing within you, that is the ultimate sign that you are on the brink of something extraordinary. This is why when you feel that inner conviction, you must hold on to it. Do not allow external circumstances to shake your belief. Do not let temporary obstacles make you question the inevitable. The very fact that you feel this deep certainty means that God has already set things in motion. Your breakthrough is not something you need to force into existence. It is something that is unfolding in divine timing, but patience is required. Those who give up too soon never get to witness the full manifestation of their faith. The moment just before a breakthrough often feels the most challenging. The pressure increases, the obstacles seem greater, and the waiting feels unbearable. But this is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that you are closer than ever. The resistance before a breakthrough is always the greatest, because transformation requires endurance. Many people dismiss their inner knowing because they expect the journey to be easy. They believe that if something is truly meant for them, it should arrive without struggle. But nothing great is birthed without a process. A diamond is not formed without pressure. A butterfly does not emerge without the struggle of breaking free from the cocoon. And in the same way, your breakthrough requires that you hold firm even when everything around you tries to convince you otherwise. The key is to cultivate trust. When doubt whispers, remind yourself of the certainty that has been placed within you. When circumstances seem to contradict what you believe, remember that reality is always shifting. What you see now is not the final chapter. Keep moving forward, keep believing, and do not waver in your conviction. You will look back and realize that the knowing you had was never wrong. You will see that every delay had a purpose, that every obstacle strengthened you, and that every moment of uncertainty was simply a test of your faith. You will step into what you always knew was yours, and when you do, you will understand why God placed that unshakable knowing within you from the very beginning. There is a moment in every journey when the waiting becomes difficult, when doubt creeps in, and when you wonder if what you desire will ever come to pass. It is in this moment that faith is truly tested. Before receiving something big, you must first prove that you can trust without seeing, that you can believe even when there is no visible evidence. This is not a punishment, it is preparation. It is the divine testing of patience and faith. God stretches your faith before He delivers His promise, not to make you suffer, but to make you ready. Faith is not needed when everything is going well. It is not tested in moments of ease or certainty. Faith is proven in the unseen, in the silence, in the waiting. It is in these moments when nothing seems to be happening that God is watching closely. Will you trust Him even when you don't see the results yet? Will you hold on to His promise even when there is no proof? This is where true faith is formed, not in receiving but in believing before the manifestation arrives. Most people struggle with this process because they want immediate results. They want to see movement, signs, or confirmation before they fully commit to believing. But faith does not work that way. Faith asks you to believe first, to trust before you see, to walk forward even when the path is unclear. It requires surrendering control, releasing the need for instant gratification, and allowing divine timing to unfold. There is a reason why the greatest blessings do not come instantly. If everything arrived the moment we asked for it, there would be no growth, no transformation, and no deepening of trust. The waiting is not a delay, it is a divine process. It is in the waiting that character is built, endurance is strengthened, and faith is refined. Every great blessing requires preparation, and that preparation often comes in the form of patience. Think of a seed planted in the ground. The moment it is placed beneath the soil, it begins its journey of transformation. But in the beginning, nothing is visible. There is no sign of growth, no proof that anything is happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming, stretching deep into the earth, preparing to sustain what will soon break through. If someone were to dig up the seed too soon, they would assume it was lifeless. But in reality, it was growing all along. The same is true for your desires, your prayers, your dreams. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean it is not happening. This is where faith is required. Faith asks you to trust the unseen, to believe in the process, and to remain steadfast even when nothing appears to be changing. The greatest rewards go to those who do not give up, who do not allow the silence to shake their confidence, and who continue to walk forward even when there is no visible sign of movement. Patience is not just about waiting, it is about how you wait. Anyone can wait, but very few can wait with unwavering trust. Many become frustrated, discouraged, or doubtful when things do not happen on their timeline. But those who truly understand the divine process remain at peace. They know that every delay is divine alignment, that every moment of waiting is a step closer to fulfillment. They do not allow impatience to lead them to settle for less. They do not try to force things before their time. Instead, they trust, they prepare, and they remain faithful. The reason God stretches your faith before delivering His promise is because what He has for you is greater than what you have imagined. But with greater blessings come greater responsibilities. If your faith is not strong enough to endure the waiting, how will it be strong enough to handle what is coming? If you cannot trust Him in the unseen, how will you trust Him when challenges arise, even after you receive the blessing? Faith is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be stretched to grow. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to strengthen that faith, to deepen your trust, and to align yourself with the higher purpose behind your desire. The process is not about testing whether you are worthy. It is about preparing you to fully receive and sustain what is meant for you. Many people give up right before their breakthrough. They grow tired of waiting and assume that if something has not happened yet, it never will. But they fail to realize that the moment when faith feels hardest to hold on to is often the moment right before everything shifts. The greatest blessings require endurance, and endurance is built through patience. So if you find yourself in a season of waiting, do not be discouraged. Do not mistake silence for absence. Do not allow impatience to shake your trust. Instead, lean into faith more deeply. Remind yourself that what is meant for you cannot be taken away, that divine timing is always perfect, and that every moment of waiting is a step toward the fulfillment of the promise. When the breakthrough finally arrives, you will see why the waiting was necessary. You will understand that every delay was actually positioning you for something greater. You will look back and realize that the faith you built during the process was just as valuable as the blessing itself. And in that moment, you will know without a doubt that God was always working, even when you could not see it. There are moments in life when things seem to align in ways that defy logic, when signs appear so clearly that they cannot be ignored. These moments are not coincidences, they are divine synchronicities, guiding you towards something greater. When God is about to give you something big, the unseen world begins to communicate with you in unexpected ways. Messages will appear in dreams, through conversations, and even in the words of strangers. Every detail is orchestrated in your favor, moving you closer to your breakthrough. These signs may come in subtle ways at first. A song on the radio that speaks directly to your situation, a random phrase in a book that answers a question you've been asking, or a stranger who unknowingly delivers a message that resonates deeply. At first, these moments might seem like mere coincidences, but as they continue to appear, you begin to realize they are part of something much bigger. The unseen world is aligning everything, whispering to you that your desires are being fulfilled. One of the most common ways these messages arrive is through dreams. In the stillness of the night, when the conscious mind is at rest, divine guidance flows freely. Some dreams come as direct visions, revealing what is to come. Others are more symbolic, requiring you to pay attention to emotions, imagery, and themes. When a dream repeats itself or evokes a deep sense of knowing, it is often a message preparing you for what lies ahead. These dreams are not random. They are glimpses of the unseen forces at work, shifting things in your favor. Beyond dreams, synchronicities will appear in your waking life. You may think of someone and then unexpectedly hear from them. You may be contemplating a major decision when a sign suddenly confirms what your intuition already knew. Repeating numbers, familiar symbols, or meaningful patterns begin to emerge, reminding you that you are on the right path. The world around you begins to reflect your inner state, proving that everything is connected in ways beyond human understanding. These divine signs often come when doubt tries to creep in. Just when you begin to question whether your desires will manifest, an unexpected confirmation appears. A conversation with a stranger might provide the exact reassurance you need. A random event might push you in the direction you were hesitant to take. This is how the unseen world works, moving through people, places, and circumstances to lead you where you are meant to go. At times, these synchronicities serve as a call to take action. When an opportunity arises that aligns with what you have been praying for, it is not a mistake. When the right people show up in your life at the perfect time, it is not by accident. The universe is responding to your faith, arranging everything according to divine timing. Your only task is to recognize these moments and trust them. Many people dismiss these signs, believing them to be coincidences. But nothing in this world happens without purpose. The more you pay attention, the more you realize that life is always communicating with you. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, and the unexpected messages that come your way are all part of the divine orchestration. Every detail is intentional, guiding you towards something far greater than you can see. Sometimes the messages come in ways that challenge you. A door closing, a sudden change in plans, or a delay that forces you to wait. All of these are signs too. Not all synchronicities are about moving forward immediately. Some are about pausing, redirecting, or preparing. If something you desired does not come as expected, it is not a rejection but a realignment. What is meant for you will always find its way, and the signs will continue to appear until you fully trust the process. The most powerful synchronicities are the ones that stir something deep within you. It may be an unexplainable feeling of knowing, a moment of overwhelming peace, or a sudden realization that everything is happening exactly as it should. This is the unseen world affirming that you are not alone, that your prayers have been heard, and that your breakthrough is unfolding. When you start seeing these unexpected signs and synchronicities, do not ignore them. Pay attention, write them down, reflect on them, trust them. The more you acknowledge them, the more they will appear. The more you trust, the clearer the path becomes. You are being guided, supported, and aligned with something far greater than you can imagine. When God is about to give you something big, the signs will be undeniable. You will hear messages in unexpected places, see patterns too precise to be random, and feel an inner knowing that cannot be shaken. This is the unseen world at work, aligning everything in your favor. Stay open, stay aware, and most importantly, stay in faith. What is coming is already yours. When God is about to give you something big, He prepares you in ways that may not always make sense at first. Your life may feel disrupted, but it is only being rearranged for something greater. You may experience isolation, but this solitude is where clarity and strength are born. Unusual opposition and delays may arise, but they are not roadblocks. They are signs that you are stepping into something beyond what you can currently see. Amidst all of this, an unshakable inner knowing will persist, reminding you that your breakthrough is near. Your faith will be tested, but this testing is not to break you. It is to strengthen your trust in what you cannot yet see. And when the time is right, unexpected signs and synchronicities will begin to appear, confirming that everything is aligning in your favor.